Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good day, free enterprise fans around the world, and welcome to game number two of the best of three match in the Red Moon Waxing quarterfinals between Wewbear and Pyre. Pyre currently up 1-0 after a slight defeat of Wewbear yesterday in a great match. If you haven't seen it, definitely would recommend. My name is Possumorpheus. I am joined by Neobari on Restream. I am joined by Fiery Blizzard pushing the buttons. And last but not least, joined by the unstoppable commentary force that is Stoppable Force. How you doing this afternoon, Stoppable?
I'm doing great. It is great to be back here in the booth and for what is bound to be a real barn burner of a match today.
Oh yeah, the first race was very close. Again, would definitely recommend folks go back and watch it. And I expect no difference in this one. We have an edge start. That means we're going to see zoom right out of the gate. A lot of very quick checks to be done. And I do happen to see, though, a lot of pretty rude bosses up on that list. Anything that really stands out to you?
I just love seeing Valvolus required because that could either be a pushover or there are some spots where that is just going to be a big pain. And of course, everyone's favorite nope rope down there at number 8, Ogo Pogo.
Yeah, those are definitely two good ones. For me, I'm just hoping we get to see more fun and interesting gauntlets, wherever they may be. They're always exciting to find the gauntlet, whether it's difficult, whether it's trolly, whatever it is. I just enjoy the heck out of that.
Yeah, there's some fun spots to see the gauntlet that I don't think have turned up yet somehow across the entire tournament. So we'll be pulling for some of the more interesting ones today.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen many Feymarch gauntlets or Baron basement gauntlets. I haven't seen too many sealed cave gauntlets. Certainly seen a number on the moon. Speaking of things that are moon related, though, there is an Edward who I assume our runners would just prefer to send to the moon and never have to deal with him again. But we also have a Mom Bomb, which is required, and a Baron key. And, well, our runners are not going to have to look far for that Mom Bomb or that Baron key.
Oh, it's real nice of Mom Bomb to just hand them the key to walk back in. Come take her on anytime. That's 1 out of 8 that they don't have to look for. That's really nice in this.
Yeah, and a lot of the time, these seeds, when there is a boss that gives you your starting key item and it's required, it oftentimes becomes Baron and Darkness Go mode, where you're just looking for kind of those two key items. And in this case, we already have the Baron piece, so it's going to be very interesting to see where the rest of our bosses are, like this required Val, who's hanging out in the Mist Cave.
Well, apparently Neobari doesn't want us to be here very long today. We got this Valvalus in a nice, easy spot to take care of her. We know where the Mom Bomb is. Maybe we'll go peek Waterfall, find something else there or two.
Yeah, and very quickly, 1 out of 7 bosses for both our runners. Wewbear going to give us a full loot of Mist Cave here. Now, the looting here is pretty high tier. It's fairly close to like Eblin Castle level loot, so not the worst area to go. Says I'll leave with my Poison Claw, my Black Sword, and I think that was a headband. So not that great. While Pyre goes in to Watery Pass and picked up some loot of his own and ice brand him some things like that, but also decided to let Rydia stay put in Watery Pass.
Yeah, these. We are going to get a check at Waterfall here too. Not one of our required bosses. I believe that looked like a. I did not see what that was.
That was a Sura.
She can just continue right on soaking.
Yeah, Asura, not a particularly pleasant boss. Usually have to resort to things like lifelock strats and such. Oh my. So that Rydia that Pyre left behind, one chest behind that Rydia is a Leviathan. So uh, I have to just go ahead and say I don't think Rydia is staying on the ground for Wewbear.
No, you find Rydia and you think, oh, maybe I've got an anchor, and then you find one of her most powerful summons right behind you, and that's that power bump that you've got Edge. He'll presumably turn up some good weaponry here. If not, he's got darts galore lining up, and now Iridia and Leviathan needs some experience to get her online. Her MP's a little low right now, but she'll be washing things away here before too long, I'm sure.
Yeah, Rydia going to be waving goodbye to many an enemy throughout this seed, is my expectation for this anyway. At least that's what I would do with it, but I'm also a huge fan of Rydia Leviathan. So yeah, I would definitely want to see her getting XP. Maybe treat this Sid as an anchor, treat Eddie as an anchor, find somebody else to anchor for the day. Because Rydia is going to be power washing things.
Pyre finding a ninja shirt on his way down Antlion Cave. Nice pickup for that edge, for that edge. And we're gonna get another boss check down here. Let's see if this one's required. Oh, it is. And there's our alt gauntlet.
Yeah, this is an interesting one for a couple reasons. One, it's kind of gross because you're not going to have AoE that's going to wipe these things out. Thor Rages don't actually take these enemies out in one shot. It takes 2 or 3. So you're going to need to flame or attack multiple times. Pretty awkward, all things considered. Antlion pretty loaded on loot, though. A Heroine Robe and Aegis Shield. Those are both tier 5, if I remember correctly. And that Ninja Shirt as well. Like, all 3 tier 5 items. That is quite nice out of Antlion Cave.
Definitely kind of unusual after seeing some of the other spots we've checked, but I'm sure our runners are very happy to see some of these. Wewbear putting that Ninja Shirt straight on the edge, letting Sid get a little more powered up here. Riddy is going with a Heroine Robe for the time being, and that's fine. She may not be able to make use of the attack stats right now, but the speed and the defense will keep her alive until she can start playing Power Wash Simulator.
Yeah, it's a very good thing for Rydia as far as defenses are concerned. She's not going to be able to do much in the way of damage, but that's fine because her goal is to just stay alive right now. And the Heroine Robe is going to be phenomenal to keep her staying alive. And, oh baby, Party Rock at the 5.5 minute mark. Zoom, we keep going. Niabari being very, very generous to our runners this afternoon.
Yeah, so with it coming this early, obviously we opened up the Tower of Zot for a couple boss checks. Maybe not quite within our capability yet, although with Edge, I don't know. Do you go check the Treasury if it's the serve?
Yes, I immediately go check the Treasury. I do not pass go. I do not collect 200. Just straight over to Troya, open up those boxes, and I don't think twice about it. It looks like Pyre is of the same mind.
Never know, could spike a couple ninja swords here, get a little power bump for our edge, or something nice for Rydia to wield that rod. Oh wait, excuse me, Pyre passed up to Rydia. For Sid then, I guess.
I mean, you could always find, an Earth Hammer, an Artemis Bow, and some decent arrows. I think what our runners really are going to want are edge swords, but maybe we'll get to play chat's favorite game as well.
Great! That's Treasury!
Okay, yeah, that was really nice.
Full moons, cursed rings, and white spears out of 10, I believe.
I saw an Artemis something or other there at the end too. That was a loaded treasury for this flex.
Yeah, a cane would definitely go a long way here. Honestly, the cursed ring and the arty bow I think are the most important pieces right now. The cursed ring obviously giving our runners full control over their turn order. That is actually going to be far more beneficial for Wewbear than it will be for Pyre. And the reason for that is it will allow him to lead off fights with Leviathan Rydia, where he won't have to wait to kind of cycle her turns. So early advantage from the Treasury goes the way of the runner with the Leviathan Rydia. Later on, that may change. Also, speaking of things that Leviathan could be good against, and Flame in general is going to be good here, but But yeah, a little shy on the MP there. But I think we will still be able to get through these Magus Sisters, which are required, by the way. So that is 4 bosses that our runners know of already, with Mom Bomb and Baron, Magus Sisters on Hobbs, the Gauntlet and Antlion, and Val and Mistcave. Niabari must have something to do this afternoon that does not involve us here in Free Enterprise Land.
Yeah, Niabari has better places to be, apparently. Although we are starting to run out of these overworld boss spots, so we've still got 2 more unrevealed in Baron. Haven't peeked at the Tower of Zot yet, just that Treasury, and of course 3 spots up on Mount Ordeals.
Yeah, definitely a lot still to be done on the overworld. We could get one of those magical go mode before hook seeds. That would be pretty exciting. It looks like Pyre off to Ordeals next. Fading Fabul for the time being, fading Baron in, and opting for the Mountain. Maybe a character check more than anything else. May really be looking for a Cane, and finds a Tella. So an early Darkness Crystal would also open up some very interesting things here.
Yeah, not bad. Telling that Edward immediately take a hike. This Tella now opening up a potential early D-money grind if we find that Darkness Crystal somewhere. Meanwhile, Wewbear getting the fruits of his labor for recovering the Earth Crystal, looting that wonderful treasure.
Yeah, and I mean, the full moon is a big deal, obviously, and oh my goodness, that is a Dark Knight Cecil at Ordeals 1. That is our 5th known boss. Oh no, excuse me, that's a Golbez picture, not a Dark Knight picture.
Yeah, it's the other brother.
I was freaking out for a minute there. I was like, Niabari, calm down. But it's me who needs to calm down.
Yeah, no, this is just Dark Knight Cecil here to lightly tickle people with his dark waves before talking about justice or something.
Yeah, there's no right in the world like justice or something. I don't know. It feels kind of Judge Dredd, but like less exciting.
Yeah, it was so boring. Even Porum didn't fall over.
It's okay. I'm sure we'll find a coffin.
Maybe a kamikaze.
We do see dancing daggers being purchased on Wu's side. That's a way to kind of weaponize anyone who can wield one. In this case, it's going to be Edward who gets weaponized with a dancing dagger.
Yeah, that's not bad since Wewbear hasn't found his 4th and potentially 5th, 6th party members yet. At least make that Edward do something besides take up a slot. And Pyre has found a vanilla Mylon Z. Finally hanging out by that ravine he keeps threatening to throw everyone into.
Yeah, we also see Pyre using Cure 3s offensively here. Since Mylon Z is undead, you can use Curative Magic. And those Cure 3s that come in that starter kit really paying off here for Pyre.
Really loaded for bear against the Smilon between that and the full moons, since I believe, does the full moon still hit flying creatures?
It does.
And I believe Mylon Z and a quirk of coding to make him immune to earth spells is flying. You just can't tell.
Yep. Mylon Z is flying. Things like CPU are not because reasons.
Yeah, just like how CPU is not a machine.
Right. Which makes total sense. Except it doesn't at all.
Oh, not at all. Get a little divergence here. Wewbear doing a little shopping in Fabul. Probably going to go ahead and check out the defense. Meanwhile, Pyre has found a required boss. Here's that Golbez you were worried about, but it's in the mirror room Ordeals.
All right, well, yeah, still, calm down, Niabari. We don't need all the bosses everywhere on the overworld. Let's add some spice to this somewhere down the line, just a little bit.
I think this will be I'm predicting right now this will be one of those ones where we maybe get 5 or 6 bosses here very early, and then that last one is going to just hide from our runners for a while.
As someone who has gone through that in this tournament, yeah, those seeds can exist. They really wear on you as a runner when you go, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes from your 5th to 6th or 6th to 7th boss.
And yeah, and there no required bosses here for Bull Defense today, just an Odin. And yeah, you really start wondering, did I miss something obvious? Is there something I should have already taken care of? But our runners today, the obvious thing they should have taken care of is the Overworld, so I don't think there'll be any of that.
Yep, and we see on Wewbear's side, one of the detriments of leaving a heroine robe on Rydia is you get a 320 damage Leviathan, which feels bad. So I think that might be Wu's reason to get that heroine off of her now, since she has gained some levels, because you probably want full value out of that Leviathan.
Yeah, now that she's up to casting speed, you don't want the heroine robe. As we said, marvelous piece of defensive gear, great for physical DPS, absolutely trashes your casting stats. So
Yeah.
not great if you want Rydia to actually cast. King of Fabu handing over the Luca key. Not sure how he got that, but there's another check we can do later once our runners finally get underground.
Well, maybe the king of the dwarves traded with the king of Fabul, and they just decided to kind of do some inter-kingdom trading, make it good for everybody, give access to different places. Like maybe the dwarves can go to the Chocobo Forest now as our runners wave to each other on ordeals. Who knows? It could be any number of things.
Hopefully it wasn't just a straight up trade from Vanilla, or else it's going to be really dangerous for Luca to be wearing that Deathbringer sword around her neck.
Yeah, but Dwarven Fashion Stoppable is a very peculiar thing, and the things that Luca wears around her neck are curious at best.
Yeah, it's always unusual to see what Luca's made into a necklace today. Wewbear getting his trek across the mountain here through these three bosses, going to see the required one at the end and the not so difficult ones in the middle. Pyre starting his defense.
And I am a little curious here on Wewbear's side if his Rydia just may not have enough MP for 2 Leviathans. Because one of the things you could do here is just start attacking with Edge and then cast Leviathan with Rydia. And if you can get, a Leviathan off here and a Leviathan off in the next spot, definitely would save some time. But it looks like, we have a Charm Rod, and we're going to pick up a Tiara for that Rydia as well. So Rydia is going to be pretty loaded on the Wewbear's side for casting Leviathan, while Pyre is just making quick work of everything without that Rydia.
Yeah, he may just not have the 117 MP. He's not going to be casting a ton of Leviathans back to back, but
I can get 2, and that's more than enough
that's a good
to
number.
kill most things.
Especially with a Charm Rod. Pyre receiving his Luca key and going on his way. Not a ton of checks left on the Overworld. Kind of drying up quick. Wondering if we'll see a check of Baron in next.
Yeah, I think we have Baron in. We have on Pyre's side the Waterfall. And then Zot 1, I think, are the only thing. Well, no, the Tower of Zot as a whole leading back to Baron. So there's still quite a few checks available, but they really start to lengthen out. From the checks that have been done so far. Zot probably a 4 to 6 minute check. Baron probably 3 to 5 minutes, depending on what else is there. Mom Bomb obviously slows it down. So the checks are going to keep happening, but they're going to slow down dramatically time-wise.
Absolutely. There are runners tracing each other's footsteps. Pyre taking out happening across these Magus sisters here. They're running into Golbez. Soon they'll have achieved parity pretty soon now.
Yeah, I think Pyre is going to be a little bit ahead as far as raw checks done, but I still think Wewbear has the edge in power. This is always scary though when your Tele post ordeals gets charmed, but Pyre is able to wipe out the Magus sisters before Tele decides to do bad things to his party.
I'm sure nothing bad has ever happened when Tele's been charmed. It's fine.
Yeah, I've totally never had a charmed Tele when I tried to kill him in a D-Machine fight with a charm arrow, just start to annihilate my party. By the way, don't hit him with charm arrows if you're trying to kill him in your D-Machine grind. It's really, really bad for him.
See, that's really just on the fault of whoever didn't fire the arrow hard enough to take out a feeble old man.
Yep, it was.
All right, looks like we're going to see that Tower of Zot check. Pyre is back and heading straight up there.
Yeah, so Pyre opting for the route of Zot to Baron, rather than going with the air quote easier checks. Baron Inn and Baron Castle are technically easier checks than the Tower of Zot is, but Pyre opting for the routing efficiency side rather than the ease of check side. And part of it, I think, is the power level. His edge is pretty strong, and he is going to have Berserk on that Tella, and shouldn't have many issues getting through whatever is up here. There's a few potential sticking points, but they're pretty few and far between at this point already.
Yeah, Edge is pretty powerful for this spot in the game, and honestly, that is less time you spend making the Enterprise take off, and flying, and putting it back down, and it's I think it's just worth it in the end. You see that curse ring go on, or no, didn't see the curse ring. You saw the tiara go on to Quorum for some defense. Sid gets a little kitted out. Looks like we're going to have our white mage and at least a second DPS online in Sid. So a couple of berserks, and this won't take too long now. Just a couple guards.
Well, might even just be able to go stone here with Edge and wipe these right out. Or stone here with Tella, not Edge. When Edge starts casting stone, let me know, as I want in.
I wondered what I didn't know about Edge. Oh, but we've got a coffin from somewhere, and that is one guard just down, and so that immediately has the danger of this fight. You could still try the off-center stone with Tella, but his accuracy is, well, not the best.
Yeah, it could work. Oh, but what does work is Artemis Bow Mute Arrow, Sid, I believe, there, which just carved that guard up for 4,500. 96 damage when I believe that it has 4,500 health. So able to just get above that threshold. Sid, go bear.
Yep, and here we have pigs with white ears. I've recently learned that the ear color of the pig can indicate the boss you're going to be facing next. That's wild.
Yeah, so the first pig doesn't mean much. The second one is where it's at.
Yeah, we saw that Bahamut backing out there. He'll be in the Dwarf Castle 2 slot if our runners even have to go to Dwarf Castle 2 at this point.
Yellow ears don't mean a ton. What it does mean is it's not going to be a sparkle, which would be white ears. So this is probably, could be like a ruby type sprite. It could be Baigan, I believe. It could be like Calpurnia, Leviathan. Lots of things it could have been, but it couldn't have been Ogopogo.
Nope, just Leviathan. So this was almost like the color swapped version of things they're actually looking for. So I saw that first guard sprite, and immediately my heart jumped in my throat, and then I went, no, wait, Baigan's red. And now we've got the original color Ogopogo and Leviathan. And there was a Grimoire for Odin, which I believe chat conjured up. Good job, Fiery Blizzard, but no, not useful here.
Yeah, that was definitely the call for the prior fight. But yeah, not going to be super helpful here. We do have a silenced guard, though, so that size cannot fire. What will fire is Leviathan, and then we might get some hot Leviathan on Leviathan action, courtesy of Wewbear, for the next fight.
So if you have to go back and forth picking which Leviathan you actually prefer, does that make this a snake draft?
Sure. It is that time of year.
Yeah, tell me about it. I had to.
As long as you're a Bills fan, you're in good spirits. If you're a Rams fan, not so much. But that's neither here nor there.
That's an entirely different fantasy game. All right. Pyre's gotten through that less nope rope with no difficulty, heading straight on back to Baron. Now we'll probably see those Baron checks in short order. First, though, we do have another key item dropping here, and we got a white shirt. Not a key item, but real nice thing to put onto that Porum along with the other stuff she's wearing.
It might actually go on Tele for the time being, to help keep him alive to do Tele things. Seeing it go on Porum on Pyre side, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it go on either Tele or potentially Rydia, since she can wear a white shirt as a child. So that would be particularly interesting to see the direction that the white shirt goes. And we see Water Hag hanging out in Baron in 1. Did not hit the 1% for this race, so no required Water Hag, but that's another free boss off the table.
Yeah, we've still got King Queen Evelyn lurking somewhere, and but for all we know, there could be something required behind this Water Hag. We love surprises.
Yeah, might even find that Nopiest of Noodles just kind of hanging out. Although I'm still hoping we get maybe some of these bosses in the Feymarch or the Moon. Well, there is a Sparkle though, and it is just a Blarg bird. This is a particularly awkward spot because of how slow the spot is. Edge's wall probably won't wear off, but it's definitely a thing that can happen.
Yeah, there's gonna be there's gonna be a flurry of activity here before Wyvern wakes up and decides to hit that mega nuke. And I'm kind of wondering. There we go. Edge.
Porum
just dodges it.
That's the power of the white shirt. That giving a lot of evade multipliers. Plus, I think also a tiara, I believe, on Porum.
That is correct. Pyre has the tiara on his Porum.
Yeah, tiara white shirt actually gives quite a bit of evasion rolls there. And oh baby, an Earth Hammer. That is not what Pyre was looking for.
I agree with Porum Spray. Just fall over after that. Well, I would bet that we're going to go see the inside of that castle now, because we know there's a boss waiting for us there.
Yeah, I think Mom Bomb is on the menu for both of our runners after this. And we see some Drain Spears. We see a Thunderclaw. Some pretty decent stuff. A Heroine Robe if you didn't already have, 2 of them? So yeah, on to Baron we go. And Wewbear going to be fighting that Blarg as well.
The fun part is that we are slowly running out of places our hook can be too.
I believe Hook at this point has to be behind this Baron proper check, and it could only potentially lead to the Twin Harp from here. I believe that's it for what we're looking at now.
Yeah, maybe we can get some required music on our way underground and just extend this Overworld Grand Tour a little longer.
Yeah, no, there is the demist at well, no, not even demist at Zot 1. You could have like Harp come from this, have demist at the Harp, and then that demist give Hook or something like that. Those are kind of the most convoluted chains that would be possibly left. I would expect the Hook to just pop out of Baron here, though.
Probably so. A package into demist, says chat. Oh no.
That could be. We could go Harp to package demist for extra salt.
burn the village down, and then she haunts your dreams at night. That's kind of evil.
No, it happens. Randomizer gonna rando.
Rando creates some great stories sometimes, trying to reason what is happening.
Alternative storylines like Senator Crocodile, Ambassador Armadillo, and Rydia's mom burning down her own village.
Yeah, the alternative story is where Baron is not a monarchy. Just chewing through this Mom Bomb's HP. She gets a nice buffer wherever she is so that we don't instantly destroy her, but people hitting for over 1,000 don't really care about that right now.
Yeah, and Edge might actually be able to chew through this along with Sid before the explode phase. They are dealing a lot of damage here. 1,000 apiece happening at least twice a round. I don't know that we even see explode on Pyre's side.
If we do, it's going to be close. That'll be thanks to that round where Sid only did 500. Nope, there it goes. Mom Bomb down. Just threatening to explode.
I think it's going to be a bit of a time save for Pyre because I don't see Wewbear as being able to get through this without triggering the explode phase. So a little bit of time gain here for Pyre. That's another sparkle. We've already seen a couple of them, and that is our required Ogopogo. That is 6 of 7, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, at this point, we're looking for Bigan or Rubicon, and we've Baron Castle storing two of our bosses behind an item that we were immediately handed.
So what do we have left on the overworld? We have the 2 hook spots, which are kind of incidentally overworld. We have whatever potentially comes from Baron. There is a realistic chance, though, that we could be in, not go mode because we don't have darkness or a pass, but we could be in crystal mode pre-hook, maybe around the 35-minute mark even. It'd be pretty wild.
Yeah, the only thing that would potentially be on the Overworld and out level our runners at this point is if one of those required bosses is hiding in the Baron basement. And it might even be worth peeking that just to have that info at this point.
What's interesting about that is Ogopogo Bigan would not really be doable for Pyre at this time because the arms would just torch him. For Wewbear having access to that Leviathan, Bigan would actually be doable. Ruby, I think, would be doable for both. I think it'd be easier for Wewbear, again, because of that Leviathan summon. But if either one's in the basement, I think that's an advantage to Wu. Pyre is ahead for now, though. But without getting darkness, leaving that Rydia on the ground is going to give Wu a slight advantage time-wise as we go through here. And there is that hook. And I do wonder if we get a basement peak, even if there's no intent to beat it. And that is what we're getting out of Pyre.
Yep, we get that save. We get Pyre running right back in to see if he can find another required boss. It doesn't have the Leviathan to keep knocking Bigan's arms off. Bigan obviously is still kind of a threat, but if you can keep knocking his arms off, way less so.
Yeah, and to answer a question from chat, was the overworld stacked? Yes. Chock full of bosses. 1 at Mist Cave, 1 on Hobbs, I want to say. 2 in Baron, 1 on Ordeals, and 1 somewhere else. I forget already. There's too many.
Say Antlion?
Oh, yeah, Antlion, the Gauntlet, yeah. And that was another Sparkle in the basement. So that's Plague or D-Lunars? Or Pale Dim? I don't remember.
Yeah, one of those. We haven't seen a ton of them yet. Just the 2. But it's not what we're looking for, so Pyre immediately takes off for the hook route.
Yeah, and Wewbear, meanwhile, full heals up, might actually look to take this. If it's D-Lunars, it's doable. If it's Plague with the full moon and a longsword, it's doable. If it's Pale Dim, you probably just die. Because it would counter Leviathan with Quake, and the magic is really high at this spot. So I wonder if we even peak the Sparkle, or if it's just Sparkle Reset. Yeah, just Sparkle Reset.
Yeah, Wewbear reasoning there's nothing good there. Moves on, will almost definitely be right behind Pyre. These 2 runners went from some slight divergence to dogging each other's heels to they are going to be right behind each other now. Leave Wewbear checking the waterfall, which he hasn't yet. Just going to turn up Asura, and then we'll be right behind Pyre. Won't be too long here until we get a peek at the second boss on our trip underground, and it's the other Mylon and Friends.
Yeah, and Mylon and Friends, this is another one of those fights where Leviathan will help a little bit. Not a huge amount, because it's just, 1 Leviathan wipes out the Friends, and then you still have to do the other, 15 to 18,000 damage in Zerks. Wewbear looking for Eblin, and has gotten lost along the way. Been there and done that as recently as 2 days ago, so I feel that.
It's very easy to lose where you parked your airship or your hovercraft, or sometimes your cave full of ninjas. I get it.
And looks like Wewbear heading off to Mysidia. Has he checked the characters here yet?
Not yet, because he has not turned up the Yang or the Porum yet that Pyre took from there. Wewbear just making sure he crosses all his T's, dots his I's before he leaves the Overworld. And Pyre getting set up for a fight. Getting properly anchored with the cursed ring on that Tella, since we are loaded with cursed rings.
Yeah, any cursed ring beyond the first is not particularly useful, but yeah, we were given 2 in the Treasury, so might as well make use of 1.
Yeah, seeing lots of curing up. No camping supplies on Pyre's side. I believe Wewbear bought some in Troya, but Pyre going to check the invisible boss now, the King Queen Emblem spot. Could potentially still be one of our required bosses, but it's just an Octoman. Not going to be fun here. It is fast, but the more they hit it, the less fast it'll be.
Yeah, and Edge being in the back row also. Gonna try to get that Thunderclaw on. I don't think that Thunderclaw is gonna take though. Yeah, so it looks like the Thunderclaw animation is happening, but the game did not have a chance to update the statistics on the weapon. So what's happening is you're getting the animation for a Thunderclaw, but it's still full moon longsword damage. So that's one of the tough things to pull off. It's kind of like doing your own Avenger type glitch, if you will. So it was a good attempt by Pyre, but again, very difficult to pull off.
Yeah, not getting the damage that Pyre hoped for here. Is getting the hits out on the speed that he wants, which is a plus. Already through that Octoman, either way. But we saw the punching power it has there. Now on for Mylon and friends. Pyre not going to have won't have Leviathan to sweep these friends away. Wewbear, of course, will, and then will be subjected to the lit one sound over and over, attempting to chew through the rest of Mylon's hit points.
Yeah, we're actually going to see the reverse of what we just saw on Pyre's side. He tried to swap back to the longsword from the Thunderclaw. Unfortunately, he's going to be stuck doing Thunderclaw damage now with the longsword on. So Pyre got the worst of both worlds here with the equipping that he did. Which is really kind of unfortunate for him. You hate to see that because it is just really taking hostage of his damage.
Yep, with no Rydia here, Tella, even cursed, gets the charm rod and it's going to get to pitch him with, I believe I saw a Fire 3 being queued up.
Yeah, and I mean Fire 3 going to do work here from Tella. Those zombies are weak to fire. They're also weak to curative magic. So even a cursed ring Tella, still doing 300 to 500. It's like a J item. If he didn't have the cursed ring on, he'd be doing considerably more. But this is where we're at.
Yeah, I believe I saw Sid queue up a Boreas that did less. So yeah. This would be a good spot, though, maybe to consider that Earth Hammer if you didn't have an arrow that would do well, since the Earth Hammer, for whatever reason, doing fire damage.
Finally coded video game, all features, no bugs.
Didn't want to give anybody the Earth element, probably overwhelming.
I mean, it's like, why does everything on the moon counter summons?
Oh, that one's because they were just terrified of Rydia, I'm pretty sure. It's like, hey, we could balance Rydia, or we could just make every moon boss make you regret using Rydia's summons.
And looks like we have Wewbear entering this Mylon and Friends fight. Going to make up a fair bit of time here. Has enough MP in the tank for 3 Leviathan casts. And we'll see how he goes about, trying to zerk up his party members, because he has Tella, but Tella is cursed and those zerks are not guaranteed to land. He doesn't have Porum, which that is going to cost him time in the long run, whereas it's giving him time right now by having that Leviathan. So I think we probably see Pyre get through this first, but he was also in this fight like 2 minutes ahead of Wu. I think they're going to be very close on the way out, but I think Pyre will be just ahead on the back of Sid here.
Yeah, I was a little worried about Pyre's two berserkers though. They were not wanting to hit the last remaining zombie, and were just going to punch Mylon. Which, if that Mylon goes down first, that could have been an interesting situation.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully though, one, zombie can only punch one time per round. So it's not like you would have been in a huge amount of danger. It would not have been great for that one person who got really, really punched hard.
Speaking of which, Mylon knocking Edward over with 85 damage lit once. Sorry, Edward.
Yeah, and that is one of the things about Mylon and friends is once you run out of friends, Mylon will actually start punching. And those punches can be pretty hurtful in a place like this, where the physical attack is much scarier than the magic.
Yep, at this point, it's just a matter of who can chew through this pile of Mylon's hit points first.
Yeah, and we have the last Leviathan coming out from Wewbear here. And I have to imagine both runners are very close here. There's the oh my body on both, completely frame perfect. But Wewbear is what, a quarter of a second ahead now?
Just a little bit.
Wow.
I was actually starting to wonder if Wewbear might use some MP restorative, since that Rydia is his biggest source of damage right now.
Yeah, I mean, I dare say our runners are, I guess, pretty evenly matched through the first 39 minutes of this seat.
Yeah, they're nearly frame perfectly falling through the pitfall. Maybe they'll both peek who we got over top of tower. It's looking Dark Elf. So no need to run up to the top of tower in any hurry.
No white arrows that I've seen. No real reason to go after that, but looks like yeah, we're going to have some choices to make for our runners. Stoppable. Where do you go from here? Are you a Dwarf fan? Are you a Feymarch fan? This is a big defining moment potentially in this race.
Yeah, I think I'm almost I instinctively want to head to Feymarch trying to get underground, but I think in this case I go Dwarf. I feel with the power level these parties are currently at, Dwarf is more likely to, serve you up something you can fight. But you only need to look at the first slot, because we know the second one is that Bahamut. So unless they're hiding a key item that somehow opens up something else, then you don't even necessarily need to stay here. As Wewbear as Pyre just showed us, it's CPU in slot 1. Although heading back in to maybe do some shopping now.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Wewbear also stopped initially in Tomra. Now, I do wonder on Wu's side, after seeing that CPU, if he might be more inclined to take that because he has that Leviathan, although he is going to be out of MP if he hasn't healed. So looks like he is on his way back out. May cabin up here and then hop in, or may just go to Feymarch altogether. But no, it looks like we're getting a check here. So Pyre exiting out of Dwarf. Wewbear going to be resetting momentarily. He has checked the Tomra item shop. Both runners say thanks, but no thanks to Dwarf, and we'll see where they go next. Pyre off to Tomra, and Wewbear, I have to assume, off to Feymarch.
Yep, Pyre getting another little interesting power spike in terms of some equipment here. Managed to score 2 cat claws for his Yang. Sees another Leviathan in the Tomra item shop. Says no, thank you.
And also more curse rings were for sale because
sure. And a full moon in the weapon shop, sure.
Which we already had from the Treasury.
Yep. So I feel like at this point we go check Feymarch, and that's where Wewbear is. Go see the item, see a couple bosses, and maybe one of them you can take on now. I don't think I would want to see there's a certain order where these two could have both appear in the Feymarch, and it would be okay. It would be doable, and one where it would be a nightmare.
I'm not particularly fond of seeing either of these in the Feymarch if I'm a runner. You would more want to see Baigan on the right or Ruby on the right. Either one of these on the left is an absolute bear of a fight. It's 37,000 health that you don't want to touch this. So Like if you're a runner, you hope it's at the Asura spot or not down here at all. Or well, there's our Baigen. That is crystal mode, not go mode because we need darkness or the pass. But we will likely see a cabin here, and this is a better setup for Wewbear than it is for Pyre because we have that Leviathan access. So this is a fight that is going to allow Wu to, I think, complete this in a much more timely manner than Pyre.
Also interesting here, Wewbear with his berserking situation. There are Bacchuses for sale in the Feymarch item shop. Pyre unloading a bunch of excess inventory to get some, sees the Baigen of the Imps, and immediately walks back out.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen hourglasses. I know there were coffins for sale on the hook route. I don't know how many our runners have of each. I see 5 hourglasses for Wewbear. Pyre saying I can't reasonably do this right now, and is opting out of that Baigen fight. Which, as we see, is not going particularly well for Wewbear right now. The arms are going to go down, but yikes.
Yeah, Baigen manages to take Tella and Edward with him, which isn't too bad, but that edge is now one smack away from going down as well. Looks like we were going to let his berserkers wail on the body and just keep summoning that Leviathan to get the arms down, but they're probably going to get in a swing here before that Leviathan. Yeah, they're each going to get in a swing before that Leviathan goes off.
Well, they're going to get a Vampire and an Entangle, which does give a little bit of breathing room, but the issue is going to be what happens on the next set. And Rydia going down here means this fight is probably over. And I think that's very smart by Wu here to reset and say, thanks, but no thanks, I can't. He is going away. Pyre has decided that he's going to take his Porum and his Edge, and he is going to go through and sneak however many Sirens he thinks he needs to win the game. Wewbear looking to also go to tower, maybe thinking the same, but does not have the Porum for Cry. What Cry does is it reduces or rather what it should have done was reduced the enemy's ability to run away. However, there's no way for enemies to run away in Free Enterprise. That was removed. That was removed from the vanilla game, actually. So it's a stat that exists that has no merit and no meaning. And so what happens is Cry reduces that stat, which then got tied to the sneak chance of Edge. And, well...
okay, you don't get to see that terribly often.
It's an interaction in vanilla that you would never see. And yeah, don't be at 1 health when you sneak, because you can die, which Pyre just showed us.
Oh, that was amazing. Yeah, the morale stat was removed, and coincidentally ends up being what secures Edge's chance to steal. And yeah, Pyre is just going down here. It looks like Wewbear might be diverging, going up to check that Twin Harp, seeing if maybe he can find a ruby down in the Twin Harp spot.
I think he wants the Porum for Cry. I think this is a play that changes party.
True. Okay, he did see her.
He might want the Yang also. It really depends what he wants to do with his party here. What this does do, though, is after that attempt on Baigen and Pyre getting the jump on all these Sirens, this puts Pyre firmly back in the lead. And it's interesting because we've had, kind of the back and forth with our runners here. But I think that this is going to be a big play for Pyre here, immediately recognizing I'm in go mode, and or not in go mode, but in crystal mode, and just saying, let me go and get all my levels right now.
Yeah, and honestly, with that Yang in his party, it's pretty fantastic, because levels are Yang's best weapon. Accidentally ends up summoning a Noggin when he's finished, but nothing that Edge can't take care of. Wewbear with a freshly revamped party, looking a lot like Pyre's, except with Rydia instead of Tella, coming to try and find a trap chest of his own.
Yeah, and I have to imagine on Wu's side, we're probably going to see a Sid anchor Or we might just see a Porum anchor with Bacchus being available, but I think Sid is a more likely anchor here. It'll be interesting to see where he goes, though, party-wise, what the choice ends up being, because there's a lot of different ways to go with this for Wewbear. For Pyre, I think he's been basically, I am going Berserkers the entire seed. Never really even considered Rydia. In fact, she's still waiting in Watery Pass.
Yeah, I think Pyre picking up the selling half his inventory to pick up several strength rings and Bacchuses just secures that for him. This is a triple Berserker party, and yeah, the double cat claws on Yang, the strength rings, the Bacchuses, the big pile of Bacchus. We're gonna run through some dragons now, and I think we'll see Pyre try that again with a much punchier party. Except first he has to get surprised by this egg.
Always the best part, getting surprised by the egg that you summoned so that you could fight it. If anything, the egg should be surprised, but here we are. But speaking of things that are excellent, you should give our runners a follow, everyone. They're putting on a fantastic show for you. And yeah, give them your love. Make sure that you watch them progress throughout the tournament. They are absolutely fantastic runners. Pyre prolific on the ladder. Wewbear, all he does is make like top 8s, top 16s in tournaments every single tournament. Both of them are phenomenal. Definitely should give them your love and adoration. And also, our restreamer Neobari for giving us this very interesting seed, which we're going to have all of our bosses long before we have our Zeromus access. Also, our tracker, who is doing a fantastic job today, Fiery Blizzard, an absolute legend in the Final Fantasy V community as well. So lots of amazing talent here. And, last but not least, Stoppable Force, doing a wonderful job as my comms partner today. Thank you so much, Stoppable. And I hope everyone gives you a follow, too.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to be on here with you, Possum. And if you guys haven't followed that Possum Orpheus guy, he does some good streams. Put on a really nice match yesterday that I would highly encourage everyone to go and check out if you didn't. It wasn't restreamed, but it's always interesting to see it from his or his opponent's perspective.
That was a seed that existed.
I just remember seeing you start it, and then I ate dinner, and then I came back and went, "Possum's still racing?"
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of still doing things, Pyre actually able to one-shot the eggs now with Edge. That is huge. That will very much so expedite this, even if it's via Berserk versus manual attacks. Power punching with Yang could also potentially get the job done here. So could be a very interesting way through. And Wewbear, it'll be interesting on his side to see how many Sirens he opts to go for. Looks like he is done, though, and has Edge beating that alert to death and getting a couple levels on that Porum, so I don't think that Porum is going to be an anchor anymore. Didn't catch how many Sirens he had, but we'll have to find out shortly. But Pyre definitely well ahead at this point.
Yeah, Pyre already out there making some dragon omelets. Wewbear not that far behind him, but maybe just enough to make a difference. Looks like 26 Sirens, which maybe it seems a little overkill. But we do not have 10 key items for that XP bonus. Our runners are maybe scrambling a few more eggs than usual.
That tells me that Wewbear might be looking to go straight to nuke on Rydia, which means he's going to be here for a while, because I don't know our best way of killing eggs here. This is not going to be fast.
Oof, it's not Edge.
This might be a situation where you go back and spend all your remaining money on coffins, because he does not have the strength here or the weaponry that Pyre does. So this is going to be very interesting on Wewbear's side. These are not going to be anywhere near as quick as Pyre's.
Yeah, and unfortunately losing a little XP there as the Yellow Dragon gets off one swing and takes out Porum. Just going to use the coffin right off the bat this time.
Yeah, until we have someone able to one-shot, whether it be Rydia via maybe Virus, since I don't think, yeah, we haven't done Dwarf, so she wouldn't have access to the Cockatrice spell, which would be a one-shot stone. And we did not check the Hob summon, which could also have been Cockatrice. We'd have to Leviathan, or maybe try to get there with the Charm Rod and Tiara Virus on Rydia, which might be doable. You'd also probably want to curse up Sid in that case and have her act first. It's just kind of a really weird situation for Wewbear as to how he goes about doing this. Whereas for Pyre, it's a much more streamlined process.
Yeah, even after a few eggs, that edge still only hitting for 800 something. Not safe egg scrambling here. Pyre side, we can see that edge hitting for 2400 or so. Also, interestingly, noticed that during the Siren fight, it doesn't look like... so they both checked the Treasury, but I don't think Wewbear has ever backrowed his edge. He was hitting for like 400 damage or so there.
Well, so as far as the back row is concerned, one of the interesting parts about Red Moon Flags is there is no back row glitch.
I've been paying too much, playing too much blue.
Yeah, no worries. It's one of those that, yeah, you can put that full moon on it, but he's got to be in the back row to take advantage of it. Or, I mean, he has to have the full moon on in the back row to be back rowed. It won't persist from fight to fight like it will in, Blue Moon, for example.
And I guess he took it off in favor of a longsword.
Yeah, less animation, so it's a quicker attack. Rydia just shy. She's got plus 20 wisdom, but still not quite able to get there to one-shot these eggs, while Pyre, albeit not fast, is getting there. He's up to wall on Porum. She's at 1200 health. It's not pretty, but it's doable from here. I'd be interested to see. I think Pyre is probably going to cash out the rest of these 5 Sirens, hoping to get to Cure 4 on Porum, at least for the Z fight, whenever that may be.
Yeah,
Rydia, we're going to get an HP ran out on the egg here, I think. Yeah. You hate to see it. You just hate to see it.
Just a little extra delay there. It's just kind of eats at you, I'm sure. Kind of like this egg still surprising Pyre, but from the front this time. Saw the egg coming. Now that's where they're surprised. So now the race turns into the hunt for the Darkness Crystal or the Pass, because both our runners know exactly where their crystal's coming from. That Baigon's right there waiting. But they still have to get to the moon somehow. So assuming that Baigon's not also holding the Darkness Crystal, where do you start checking first?
You do Baigon, and then you do Dark Imps. And then from there, you got 3 options that are all kind of equal time-wise. You got Keyless Tower, you got Dwarf, and you got Sheila 1. I think you have to lean Sheila 1, leaving a save outside of there. If it doesn't hit, then you come back and do Keyless Tower, and then you do Dwarf last. I guess Luca is in play too. So Luca also is about the same time-wise as Keyless Tower, but you peek the item first. So it might even be Luca before Sheila 1. It's a very good shout by Neobario Restreamer.
Yeah, since we got that key from the Football Defense so long ago, maybe if you go down there and you see it's nothing you need, then you are just out.
If you feel behind, Harp is in play. I don't think Harp, for our tracker Fiery Blizzard pointing out, I don't think Harp is in play unless you feel behind. I think that's far too long a check compared to everything else, considering it's pretty much centralized underground, unless you are going to weave in the Harp check with the Sheila 1 check, since you'd already be weakened from all the damage tiles. But we're about to find that out once Pyre is done with this Baigon, because he is on his way back down to the Feymarch and has all the grinding that he's probably hoping to do, but from what we can tell, he is up right now roughly 15 Sirens on Wewbear. So Wewbear probably has 5 to 6 minutes more of grinding to get to nuke on Rydia here. And Pyre, by opting to go with the Berserker, is going to have a much shorter grind. The fights will not be as fast, but this is a lot of time to have to make up on Wewbear's side in what is not a lot of seed left, presumably.
Yeah, Wewbear finally at least able to one-shot those dragons with Rydia and Virus. But 14 more Sirens to go before the egg was kind enough to refund one on that last one. If he aims to go through all of these, Rydia just got to lit 3.
Yeah, Rydia getting to lit 3, you might think, oh, hey, she's getting close. She's not.
No.
That means she's at like 450 or 500,000 of the 1 million experience she needs. She's not close, and also we're going to get a second HP run out on Wewbear's side on an egg. That is just awful luck.
That Rydia he picked up in Watery Pass. Wonderful power early, but now it's just literally trolling him. Pour him on wall, and Pyre's Berserker's now chugging wine, getting ready to slug it out with Baigen.
Yeah, Pyre not going to have any issues with this fight. It's going to be pretty fast as well, given the amount of damage he's doing. Nearly 1,700 from Sid, 2k from Yang, and 3k from Edge. The hits are just not going to be lethal at this point with the amount of HP he has on all of his characters. Tella could die in the back row, Porum won't, even at 1,400. She's a potential liability in the Z fight at that HP level, but it's diminishing returns on doing more Sirens just for her health. You'd almost be better off trying to find or use, apples.
Yeah, it's possible. A combination of Pyre hoping he can get some extra XP on these for Porum, plus the fact that he has a pretty decent set of defensive gear on him with the tiara and the white shirt, maybe just hoping that she can dodge just enough rolls of each big bang. And that Baigen goes down. Baigen down before Wewbear has finished grinding eggs. Oof.
Yeah, there's Cure 4 for Pyre, and literally at the 1 hour mark, we have the Crystal Get for Pyre here. And what do we get to go with it is the big question. That is going to be the Darkness Crystal, because why not?
Hope Pyre's ready for that Z fight, because I think that's where he's going.
What a seed!
This is this has been a seed.
Yeah, I don't know what I would think if I were in our runner's shoes, other than seeing that darkness and going, oh poop. I hope my opponent didn't do X, Y, Z, A, B, C things faster than me. That would be the thing running through my mind, because I would be thinking, if I were in Wewbear's shoes, for example, I haven't done anything poorly. I tried to take on that Baigen that cost me probably a minute, maybe 90 seconds. But we know up here, unfortunately for him, that minute or 90 seconds really gave Pyre the jump. Also, having that Porum in his party already really gave him the jump on things. So I think, both runners should feel good, but I think Pyre's got to be feeling really good with his decision-making in this seed.
Yeah, it's been an interesting contrast between things that just seem like they just like a couple seconds here and there, like having to return to get Porum. I mean, yeah, that feels slow, but it doesn't feel super slow. But it's those little time losses that have just started to add up here. And of course, going to nuke without 10 key items off of Sirens. Wewbear is down to 5 Sirens left. He's got to be getting close now.
Yeah, he would have nuked this fight with Palom. But this is Iridia.
Yeah, Palom took this seed off. Sorry.
So, and this is the thing, is that there's maybe it would be one more, because Porum did not quite get white yet. But she also was left on the ground for the first Siren, and there were some issues with that, and she was the last add to the party. So, still some time left here for Wewbear to get those spells. Didn't get a level there on either white mage, and yeah, we still need 2 more levels on Rydia, I think we need to do all 3 of these Sirens. So including that bonus Siren that Wewbear got as a drop. And I think he needed every last one of these Sirens to get there.
Yeah, it's up. Rydia gained a level, learned Fatal. I believe Nuke is next, and I actually don't know if this gets him here.
I think these 2 will. Yeah, these should. Because I think Rydia needs like 74,000 or something to go from 49 to 50, so should get it here. But meanwhile, Pyre charging down the lunar subterranean, just going through already up to, I believe, floor 4. No, floor 5, excuse me. So really charging down this lunar subterranean. And very quickly going to be saving outside the ribbon room, I have to imagine. And then just, headed on down to the big bad boss. And I'm not going to lie, Stoppable Force. I was not expecting this to be such a short outcome, such a short seed for us to be part of here. I figured we'd get to spend at least a solid 90 minutes together today.
I know. Looks like we I don't even know if we'll make it to the hour 15 mark at this point. That's just that is a shame. It's always fun up here in the booth with you.
But we do see the Zerkers getting prepped. Looks like Edge is going to be in the back row in slot 5. So it looks like we're not going to be going triple Zerk right away. Might be getting some darts first, but looks like chat wants to take a nap from what I can see, and I'm not sure why. I mean, I'm down for a nap. It's siesta time here, and then have a nice dinner after. But I don't know about you, Stoppable.
I mean, good news for chat. Neobari gave you this real short seed, so you can still take a nap and have plenty of time left in your evening, depending on where you're at.
That's true. You can catch all those extra races that are coming up. This is race number 2 of 11 today, or something like that.
Oh yeah, there's a lot. We have one over in the Blue Moon waning bracket going on right now, not being restreamed, but we've got Poydrak versus Mole Boy on Free Enterprise 3 at 8 Eastern. Bad Karma versus Night Dew, not restreamed, but there's a CAD car link in the Discord. And Decker Smash versus Solaris Game 2 on Free Enterprise at 9 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be a fun one too.
Definitely. So,
and then I hadn't even scrolled the rest of the way down the list. There's a lot of matches today.
Yeah, there's a ton that happened late tonight as well. So for us Pacific coasters like myself, it's great. But speaking of things that are great, Stoppable Force, there's a question we'd like to ask, because Zeromus is too big and bad to move anywhere else. You don't want to get big banged in Antlion Cave. That's no fun for anybody. So what's the deal? What's the question?
Well, we've got a lot of alternate looks that Z can have. So the real question is, whose butt are we going to kick tonight? And were they ready for us to get here this soon?
Well, I think the answer to the second part of that is no. The answer to the first part is it looks like Sin from Final Fantasy X.
Now Zeromus put his cosplay on, and he's pretending to be Sin.
Yeah, we don't have Tidus to be mad at his father, so I guess Yang is going to do the best impression and just punch things.
And I do love this song. I mean, it's no Otherworld, but it'll do.
That's true. Otherworld is a doozy.
I remember laughing audibly the first time that came on, because it was just completely unlike anything else on that soundtrack. Just suddenly butt rock while you fight your dad. It was a choice.
A good choice. It was
refreshing. Yeah, I loved it. But no, we see the Zerkers getting zerked up here. I believe we nerfed the first Big Bang, and Tella, unfortunately, he's done his job now. He can take a little nap.
Yeah, and it was worth noting here, by going with the 3 Zerkers basically right away on Pyre's side, there was a chance that Porum could have gotten counter-nuked, and it could have resulted in a less than ideal situation where you're basically in a Jesus take the wheel situation. We didn't end up with that happening. Porum very easily surviving that nerf Big Bang as well, only taking 370. So this fight should be pretty well in hand at this point for Pyre. Maybe the only way it can go wrong at this point would be like a Big Bang into a nuke. into a black hole, into a nuke, into a meteor, or some sort of really weird combination that results in Porum going down. But I'm just not really finding a line for Wewbear to get back into this. The damage is not great on Pyre. It's not like Blue Moon Zerker level damage where you have like the Murasames and, you know, the Masamunes and, you know, all the Cecil swords and stuff. But the damage is good enough, especially when Sid is critting for 3,500. My goodness, Sid, calm down.
Yeah, it was close to 10,000 that cycle almost. And I believe we've got a reflect up on Porum. I thought maybe we were going to see her pitch in a spell or two here as well. I don't think he quite reached white, so I'm not sure what she would do.
I think that is up so that when he goes to nerf this next Big Bang, she can't take the counter nuke and die.
Nuke.
Yeah, I think that is Pyre recognizing the only way this goes south is if Porum is compromised. So I think there's a very heads-up play to just leave that wall up and kind of let it ride with the Zerkers. After this round of Zerkers, I believe we'll see a shake. And after that shake, you'll see a nerf come out. And then, you know, we'll kind of see the rest of the fight carry on from there. Meanwhile, Wewbear did pick up his crystal from that Baigen in the Feymarch and is on his way down Lyra Subterrane himself, but has to make that entire walk and most of this Z fight behind Pyre right now. So going to take something really dramatic and graphic on Pyre's side to not come out victorious here.
And that reflect paying off perfectly as Porum takes the counter nuke and tosses it right back onto Zeromus for some additional damage. Really paid off exactly the way Pyre had to hope it would.
Yeah, it was perfectly set up. It was absolutely the right way to do it. So very heads up by Pyre, very well experienced runner, knowing exactly what he needs to do, not to win the fight, but to not lose the fight. Just recognizing the only out that Zeromus has to end his night. And
we are already in the rocks phase. The boys have slugged their way there, and with these hit point totals, I don't think we're remotely worried. This looks to be handily in Pyre's court here.
And it is so handily in his court, it's already done. So GG's to Pyre with an official time, it looks like, of 109.59, and I believe we are joined by Pyre, this evening's winner, and advancing to the round of, I believe, 4 in the waxing bracket now. GG's to you, Pyre.
GG's, thank you very much.
So as you're going through this seed, which there wasn't much of it, let's be honest, and you kept seeing all these bosses show up, what are you thinking? Like, were you looking down the road at a plan? Were you hoping for certain things to show up? Kind of what was your mental outlook on the seed as you kept seeing these bosses just one after another?
Well, when I kept seeing one after another, especially on the Overworld, I just wanted to try to get through everything as quickly and as efficiently as possible to get to the most amount of bosses with the least amount of steps, just because they kept throwing them at us. So I was hoping Darkness would have showed up earlier for a better grind, so I didn't have to steal Sirens, but it worked out, I guess.
Yeah, definitely wanted to commend you on that very quick decision. As soon as you saw that Baigen, you basically said, thanks, but no thanks. You noped out, and you immediately took your Porum and your Edge right to the tower and said, I'm going to steal Sirens. I'm going to get my levels now and just deal with it. Was that something that you have put into play before, or is this kind of a first-time thing for you on these flags?
On these flags, it's the first time actually having to steal Sirens, because usually they show up in a shop by the time, and usually I don't have all the bosses right away either. So, but I'm quite used to stealing Sirens from other flag sets, so it wasn't too much of a decision. I kind of considered maybe doors, but that would have probably taken forever, especially without 10 key items.
Yeah, it definitely would have been doable. You had access to a Tella who would have had wall, but you would have needed him to be RA1 and it would have been a whole thing. So probably easier to just sneak the Sirens, go Zerkers, and be done with it. So again, just your decision making throughout was very on point. So Just wanted to compliment that in general.
Thank you.
Stoppable Force. Any questions for Pyre at this time?
No, I think you pretty much covered what I had. What I had to say. Just GG's again for some great decision making and fantastic, fantastic routing with what the seed gave you, which is a bunch of bosses very quickly.
Yeah, it was quite the panic mode.
I will say I do have another question for you, Pyre. We're not going to say who your opponent is going to be going forward. I'm sure you already know who your next opponent is, but going up against your next opponent, is there anything that you're looking to change? Anything that you are going to keep the same? What's kind of your thought process from a forward-looking perspective of, you know, what you're going to do differently, the same, etc.?
Well, I'm kind of his kryptonite, so I think I'm just going to try to keep doing what I've always been doing.
That's fair enough. If you know, folks. So, Pyre, very well run again. Fantastic job. Congratulations on making the semifinals of the Red Moon Waxing bracket.
Thank you. If there's nothing else, I think I'm going to go eat some dinner.
Sounds good. Enjoy what we'll call your victory dinner.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, folks, and that was our winner this evening, Pyre, taking the series 2-0 over Wewbear, winning this one in an official time of 109.59. Very, very fast seed. I think might be the second fastest Red Moon we've had this tournament. Certainly right up there anyway with the fastest. But yeah, not to be outdone. Wewbear only going to be a couple minutes behind here. Ran a very good seed in his own right, but just not quite enough to keep up with Pyre's incredible pace today.
Nope. It like I said, it started out what seemed firmly in his favor with that Radio and Leviathan making short work of a lot of things, but then just turned out that taking berserkers and making them all go burr smacked a lot of things down even faster. We've got those whites and nukes coming out on their side, on Wewbear's side. Shouldn't take too long. Chat pointing out that Magma Key was hiding in sealed caves, so not only do we finish this with 109.59 on Pyre's side, we never had to say the thing.
I mean, we can still say the thing for them, though, if we really want to.
Oh, I don't think chat really wants to hear us lie about the thing, because now we can never get underground.
Oh, that's right. Luca Cave blocked our real way to get underground now. How sad.
Oh, well. Don't know how they got to that Feymarch. It's a complete mystery.
Right? Is that like the double warp glitch with cheese or something? Like some sort of special warp glitch?
Absolutely. 5 out of 10 enthusiasm. I can try to be less enthusiastic, Solaris, but that's just it just doesn't come to me naturally. So yeah.
Solaris is really good at the completely apathetic just
Absolutely,
way of saying
yes.
it. It's fantastic. And it's great because he's usually such a cheerful fellow. So when he gets into that mode of saying the line, it's just fantastic. We see Wu here throwing out a Cure 3 on Edge. A nuke came out from Rydia. Sid is hitting things, I think even with a Cursed Ring on, still hitting things fairly hard because his strength stat is actually that good. Agility not so much, but strength very high. There is a Big Bang coming out. I don't know if this one is nerfed or not. So we're going to see if Rydia can just walk this off. She cannot.
No.
Nor does Porum, for that matter. So yeah, we have 3 Zerkers. No, we don't. We have no Zerkers, and we also have no Z.
Time just perfectly there.
And yeah, so GG's to Wewbear, finishing officially in 1:17:32. And I believe with that dinging in our ears, we are joined by our second place finisher this evening, GG's Wewbear.
Hello. It's me.
It is. It's you. GG's.
Thank you.
So we asked Pyre. We'll ask you with this seed handing you boss after boss on a platter on the Overworld. What were your thoughts early on?
Thanks. I hated it. Basically. It was cool. I was like, oh, this is another boss, and then as soon as I saw that Bagan underground, I was like, he's gonna have Darkness Crystal, and that's gonna be that. And of course, it was just so the seed went.
So you got down to that Feymarch. We'll kind of go in reverse order here. You see that Baigen, and you gave it the old college try, and Baigen definitely tried a little harder. What was kind of going through your mind with that fight? Like, did you think you had a really good chance at it? Like maybe a 75-25, a 50-50? Like, where were you kind of at with that fight? Did you think you could just get through it then and not have to grind beforehand? Just kind of take us through that kind of thought process with it.
I thought it was probably okay. I just didn't want to have to come back down again. I figured if I could get Leviathan off and then get a blink on Edge, and then he could berserk himself, it would probably be fine. But of course, Bacon's like, hi Porum, let me introduce you to my fist, and then it kind of went sideways from there, which is whatever, it's fine.
And the decision to leave and steal Sirens, you both actually ended up doing that. Your party compositions were a little different. Pyre stole significantly fewer, so running Tri-Zerk as opposed to Nuke White with kind of hybrid strats. What was your kind of thinking behind that? Were you just always destined to get Nuke there? Were you ever considering just going Zerkers? What was kind of your thought process on the party composition piece?
Honestly, I didn't really think about it. I had Redia, and I'm like, Nuke sounds cool. And then, I started stealing, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's a Forum. I should probably get that. And I'm like, because I had Yang in the back of my head, because the first game, Slingshot Yang was a thing, which I forgot about. So I'm like, okay, Yang's here. And Darkness obviously never showed up early enough for a D machine. But so I was like, yeah, Yang is cool, and Forum can cry. But yeah, honestly, I didn't think much past that.
Fair enough. Well, this is the end of your tournament run in the waxing bracket, but you are not out of the tournament as it stands as a whole. On your way now to the waning bracket. Anything that sure yet other than two people, everyone else will ultimately be eliminated. But as far as your play going forward and whoever you face, are you looking to change anything up? Looking to keep anything the same? Kind of what's your thought process on that? Going to be playing some more Free Enterprise, some other games? Where you at with the time off you have now?
I got potentially 6 Final Fantasy 1 races that I got to do by the end of next week, so that's probably gotta figure that out. Outside of that, no, I was pretty happy with how I played for the most part. I mean, I did a couple dumb things, like I probably should have just took the Porum with me when I first. I considered it, and I'm like, I don't really need it right now. And the Slingshot was still like potentially on the table, so that's why I reset out of that when I went to peak. But otherwise, I made a couple mistakes, but I'm happy with how I played, so I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, we definitely noticed we were kind of going back and forth here in the booth. The Leviathan, getting the Leviathan and the Rydia early, which Pyre saw that Rydia and just reset out, left her there, never saw Leviathan, never took her with him. And it was interesting the way that kind of was the early power spike for you that made some of those bosses that Pyre, had a little bit of a tougher time with. Rydia just power washed away.
Yeah, I had a rude person make fun of me for not taking Rydia and Leviathan in another race that I did, so it was in the back of my mind.
Who could that be? I wonder.
Some sort of rodent type named person. I don't know.
Some kind of trash rodent. Well, don't let anyone bully you. You did a fantastic job.
Yeah,
Thank you
you're
very
only
much.
allowed to be
That's it.
bullied with kindness for your wonderful gameplay and your amazing personality.
Thank you.
I think that's all I've got here. Possum, you got any additional questions?
I think I have exhausted the questions I have for Wewbear, so we'll let him go enjoy the rest of his evening.
Yeah. All right. Thanks again for doing the talkies and the button pushies and all that. Love you all. Goodbye.
Yeah, GG's again, Wewbear, and that's going to take us to the end of a very exciting, short but very exciting race. Jam packed full of action in an hour and 15-ish or so. That was a doozy stoppable.
Yeah, as you said, I was expecting to be here for maybe 90 minutes hanging out with you guys. We're done in an hour 17. But don't worry, if you're still feeding for more free enterprise, there is plenty tonight. I'm just going to read off this list here that Niabari kindly provided to us. In addition to tracking, he also set the schedule up so I could read it. After this, we'll be heading over to Free Enterprise 3 with Poydrak versus Moleboy in the Blue Moon Waning bracket. Later on tonight, we've got Decker Smash versus Solaris, Game 2, 9 p.m. On Free Enterprise 1, the original. Apex Corvid versus Y2 Sky at 10 p.m. Eastern on Free Enterprise 2. And Scratch Dragon versus Mike 34 in a late night match, 11:30 p.m. Eastern on Free Enterprise 3.
Yeah, and just in case there wasn't enough tonight, there's 5 more restreamed races tomorrow. We won't get into all the times. Check the Discord for that. It's a great place. But yeah, there's so much for Enterprise action that's still happening. And as Stoppable Force, my wonderful co-commentator, said, we are off to Free Enterprise 3. Do not spoil any of that. And one last big thank you to Wewbear, to Pyre, our runners who were fantastic, Niabari, our restreamer, Fiery Blizzard, our tracker, and once again, thank you, Stoppable Force, for keeping me in line on comms.
Well, I didn't have to wrangle you for too long, and now you're free to eat the buttons that we didn't press, of which there were plenty of key items for you.
The pan's the best. Anyway, on that note, no spoilers, folks. Enjoy the race on Free Enterprise 3. We'll see you next time.
All right, bye, folks.